let's try to get this done quickly. What I want to try to do is add a shadow to these objects over here and a reflection just to kind of bring this to life. And I want to show you, there's just so many ways to do things as we know, but let's just take the magic wand tool here and make sure it's set at a high-ish tolerance, 44 pixels. Now, keep in mind, this is a very low resolution image. So we don't want to mess with it too much because there's just not a lot of resolution to tinker with, there's a lot of pixels. So take the magic wand tool and we're going to select the white background, okay? And we're going to select the inverse. You can't see it at the top of my screen. And we're going to copy it. I'm using Command C to copy, Command V to paste. And see, so now I have it actually isolated somewhat, right? Okay, that's important. So now in the background, I'm going to use a white backdrop. Okay, so if I turn this on and off, there's a white backdrop. Now I want a little bit more space. So I'm going to go over here to my crop tool and I'm going to slide this sucker down here like this. And you can see the other color in my background is there. I don't want that, so I want it to be white, so I'm going to do that. Okay. So now we have the object isolated up here, and now what we want to do a couple of things. One, I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to duplicate the layer. And up here under Edit, again, you can't see it at the top of my screen, but basically I want to transform this, and I want to flip it vertically like this, right? Because what we're looking for is somewhat of a reflection. And sometimes though, you have to be tricky, come up with a clever way of doing this, right? Because this is a direct reflection. That would be correct as far as a mirror goes. But watch what happens. Let's undo that. And now we have our copy. Now let's put this in the background. And now let's slide the opacity down. You see what I mean? Where you're creating an illusion of a reflection where it's not the actual literal reflection, okay? That's the distinction. Now, this is something I always teach and I always tell is don't waste your time. Don't be anal retentive and, kooky about this because at the end of the day, you just want a nice image. And what I mean by that is that I could make the image larger and all that, but I don't want to do that. So I basically want to take my eraser tool now, make sure it's set at a large enough brush. And now I'm going to start to erase out. I'm going to start with 0, go to 100% rather, and see I'm going to erase this out. And what I meant earlier about being, anal retentive about things is like, I could go down and erase the bottom part, but it's off the page. Who cares? So I want to make a quick down and dirty reflection, right? So there's a down and dirty reflection. Right? Okay, that's step 1. Now I'm going to take this device, this isolated device here, and let's see, I got to drag this up a little bit so you can see it. But I'm going to go to FX. I'm going to go down to Drop Shadow. And you can see here where it has a shadow. And I want to add a little bit of a shadow down here, right? Because it just gives it a teeny bit of a pop, right? A teeny bit of dimension. See, without and with, without and with. And if I go crazy, if I have the opacity on too high, I can see all the little details, see the little white outlines and stuff. So I don't want that. So I'm going to keep it down low. And that's it. That's exactly what I want because it's ultimately going to be shown really small anyway. But that's a quick way to do a simple reflection and shadow technique.